And welcome back, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen. Brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from. Every single one of those beers will help you drown away not one, but two huge collapses from the Buffalo Sabres to the Colorado Avalanche. One game where they led 4-0, the other where they led 3-0, and by two with just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. And of course, Buffalo logo apparel. Always buy local, shop local. They have some of the best options when it comes to locally designed shirts, hats, and hoodies. I'm wearing their blue collar gear right here. One of the most comfortable hoodies I've ever owned. It's fantastic. And of course, some Sabres gear too. We're actually be dropping a hot design here soon, I'm hoping. So keep an eye out for that. It actually plays into what we're going to talk about a little bit here in a minute. But Connor, I'm going to let you take the podium here and just discuss how you feel after the second collapse to the Colorado Avalanche. The stage is yours, sir.
I wish we could be talking about what's happening in my Twitter mentions at the moment, which was the crazy Zach Benson play and whether or not it was
we can talk about that too.
No, but like I wish that could be the first thing, right? Like I wish like if they were able to keep the 2-goal lead in the third period and be a real and serious hockey team, that could have been the discussion for most of this, because that is a legitimate hockey discussion that I think a lot of people can have a healthy debate about. But we can't even mention that first because this team just shit down its leg again. They have no composure whatsoever. I had a friend, listener of the podcast, Jack O'Connor, just say something very intelligent in the sense that they look like a good team for 10 minutes, which for the first half of the game and certain parts of the second and third period, they looked like a legitimate NHL hockey team. And then at the end of the game, I would love to see the post-game quotes. There's panic. There's 4 guys watching Jonathan Drouin in the slot with 10 seconds to go, just waiting for him to get the puck to one time at top shelf. It is an unserious hockey team in every stretch of the imagination. And everyone says, you can't blame Lindy, you can't blame the coaching staff. Well, maybe if it's not on Lindy, it's on the unqualified coaching staff that he has around him, whether he got to choose that coaching staff or not, which we'll never know for sure. But if I had to guess, he didn't have complete say in that. It is absolutely embarrassing to blow a 3-goal and 4-goal lead in the stretch of a month, yes, to a very good offensive hockey team, but it's inexcusable. You're an NHL team. It doesn't make sense. And they're going to say the right things, and they're going to say that they're going to work on it. But they've proven so many times this season, especially in the last month and a half, that this is just who they are. I was never comfortable up 3-0. I wasn't comfortable up 3-1 or 5-3. 5-3, it was late enough where it felt like that potentially was the opportunity where they could run away with this. Obviously, you try to go for the empty net goal. That I do think that's the right play. But the lack of defensive composure in their own zone is just so unbelievably embarrassing to watch as professional hockey players. That's it. It is disgusting. And it lost them the game.
Yeah. I'm going to do my best not to get too loud just because it is almost 12:30 in the morning and I do have a neighbor upstairs. But I can hear him. He's awake right now, but just out of respect, I'm going to do my best. And I'm sure he's dealt with that enough this year already with this fucking hockey team having to listen to me lose my shit.
He doesn't even have to tune in. He can just hear the pop from downstairs.
He literally can just, put his ear to the floor and he can hear every word. We said it. I said it in the show details when I tweeted it out. No composure, no leadership, just everything. This team, God, we've been saying this since fucking August. Since August. I know a lot of people were more I was right. I'm not trying to put myself this team isn't deep enough. There's not enough veteran leadership. The only ring you have in the room right now is from a 21-year-old. The only other guy that's really been to the playoffs on this team, two guys are Jason Zucker and Connor Clifton. This team just doesn't have what it takes. All the intangibles you need to have a winning franchise. This team doesn't have what it takes. And I've been saying this since August. Was crucified by some people on that stupid app for being always negative, for intentionally being negative. Oh, you're so negative. You're 15 minutes. Shut the fuck up. This team fucking blows. They are not good enough. In a season where the East is so wide open that you could be bad and still have a shot at making it, this team finds new and creative ways to fucking blow it. You had a 3-0 lead and a 5-3 lead with 2.5 minutes left in this fucking game. And to your point, and we tweeted it out, Jonathan Drouin is just standing there. He could have knit a fucking sweater standing there by himself. Nobody even tried to touch him. Who was that on the ice in that play? There was, I think Malenstein might have been out there. They had just taken Zucker off the ice. I forget who was out there on the ice in that sequence, what 3 forwards we had. I don't think that was really – I think that was more on the 3 forwards that were starting because the defensemen were in front of the net. Darlene, dropped to one knee to take away the pass, the backdoor pass. I forget who else was out there defensively. But our 3 forwards are fucking just staring at the puck carrier and just the lack of awareness to where Jonathan Drouin is. And nobody even attempts it. Yeah, it was Samuelson. Samuelson is their guy, but he took away – Samuelson did his job. He took away the other guy in front to give Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen a clear line of sight. And all 3 forwards are just fucking standing there, just in no man's land. Like, is this coaching? Is this the team just being too timid and too scared? Like, when that game got physical, you saw them, especially in the third period. I can't remember how many shots we had or even shot attempts, but when the going got tough, this team fucking in the fetal position, and they cave. And just we go back to the quote. From Terry Pagula. The solution is not in this room, man. It's not. It is not. And you want to know what? I hope Kevin Adams is hard as a rock right now because he's gonna get a first-round pick for a wasted year from Jason Zucker in the year that was supposed to be win now mode. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
I just heard a clip from Rob Ray at the end of the broadcast. I don't know if this is taken out of context or not, but it was something along the lines of like, I'm starting to hate this team. Like, oh my God. Like they're breaking us. They're absolutely breaking us. And I don't like to do this because I don't think it's necessarily on him, and he was the primary reason they beat the Blues the other night. But I think you eventually do need a save from UPL in the final 2 periods. You do. Like this is at all levels, right? Like the offense isn't necessarily to blame tonight, but in the moments where it's mattered most throughout the year, where they've lost these types of games, the defense and the goaltending have absolutely let them down. And that comes to the forwards too. If you look at a screenshot of the Jonathan Drouin goal, which tied it up at 5-5, there are literally 4 guys not covering Jonathan Drouin wide open in the slot. There's 12 seconds left. As soon as the draw was won back with 14 seconds left, I let out an audible, oh no, because this team doesn't understand defensive zone coverage. It's easy for me to sit here on a couch and say like, oh, cover that guy in the slot. But if you're an NHL team that watches video, that at least you'll probably say that you're aware of defensive zone coverages and where NHL players primarily score their goals from, which is called the slot or the house, which is the vertical lines away from the crease, like 2 or 3 feet out from the crease, and diagonal lines up to the top of the blue line. It's called the house. That's where NHL players score their goals from. I would say 85% of the time. If you're not covering players in the house, what are you doing? You have 5 guys in the defensive zone. 5. And 3 of them are looking at this guy. And the puck wasn't even at the point. They have no reason to be where they were. They have no reason to be where they were. They were covering no one. They were in a legitimate line.
I'm just fucking standing there. I gotta hold on. Keep talking. I'm gonna pull up the screenshot you posted.
with
Oh
7
my
seconds
God.
to go in the game. They're
Oh my
just
God.
standing there.
I
We
gotta
talk
pull that
about
up.
puck watching a lot, but that's just a lack of any type of necessary perspective to be an NHL hockey player. Also, I'm not sure who was on the ice, but if you're putting guys out there that don't have that type of understanding to even just stand there and maybe even lift a stick like Zucker did on his first goal tonight, you shouldn't be on an NHL roster. You really shouldn't. It's so embarrassing.
I gotta find that tweet. You posted the screenshot of where is it? Of Jonathan Drouin just standing there, untouched. I'm pretty sure you posted it, correct?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it? Or you posted it from your account, didn't you?
Well,
Or
I posted from both.
okay, I'm trying to find it. Regardless, like, just no composure, just a total lack of awareness.
I'll pull it up. You can probably see it from here.
No, I can pull it up. Just gotta find the friggin' tweet.
This is good. Look at this.
Literally, is that from your account?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up. All right, so everybody can see, who maybe just listen to the game. I don't know why anyone wants to subject themselves to
This
that.
this is a second before he gets the puck.
Like,
the guy in front's doing his job. I'm not sure what the guy.
I thought Samuelson and Dahlin were doing their. I mean, how close was Dahlin? Dahlin was taking away the backdoor pass, and then
the guy in front is tied up.
Yeah,
someone is trying to take away the pass, which is fine. What are those three guys doing?
Literally,
what are they doing?
I can't find the tweet you put out.
It's. I mean, it's on our page. It's
retweet it from your own account real quick.
I'll text it to you. Or do you need it to be in a tweet?
No, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. Regardless, yeah, dude, normal teams don't have these lapses of awareness and just these types of mental breakdowns this often. But this team just does, man. They just do. It's embarrassing. Like, I don't know where to go from here. Like this isn't a normal bad team. This is an abnormally bad team who we were conned into. Not me. I wasn't conned at all. People were conned into thinking that this team was going to be different and harder to play against. And I wanted to point out this comment here from Josh Doan. Shout out to the Goat High Glory Days group chat. Yeah, the commentary was scared that they would blow it. That says a lot. They were. Like, you heard it in Ray's voice. You heard it in Dunleavy's voice. They just knew this was coming. Just like all of us at home, we knew this was coming.
The last player you can get on is Jason Zucker. But after the game, he said we weren't detailed enough in our 6-on-5, and it cost us tonight.
And he wasn't even on the I remember hearing them saying
what is that? What does that mean? Detailed enough. What does it mean? We panicked. What does it mean that all these, I know they have to talk to the media after the game, and you're not always gonna say, you're not always gonna say the perfect thing, and saying the perfect thing and doing the right thing on the ice are two completely separate things. But does detailed enough mean not covering a guy wide open in the slot with 7 seconds to go? Is that what that means?
That's just
or
even
on Makar's goal to make it 5-4, not even getting close to getting into a lane to block the shot. Is that detail, or is that just complete lack of awareness and execution? And also, we talk about grit, we talk about toughness, but they absolutely don't have it. This fourth line, whatever line was brought in, Sam Lafferty, Beck Mallinston, and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. I don't even know if he's playing anymore.
Hey, put some respect on Beck Mallenstein, baby. Second round pick, Beck Mallenstein.
They're not doing enough for what they were allegedly brought in to do, right? And we can go back to the roster construction. We can go back to what they did and didn't do in the offseason. Clearly, Jason Zucker was the right decision. I think after a pretty hot start, Ryan McLeod has cooled off a little bit, but I do like his game a lot. But Nicholas Aube-Kubel, Sam Lafferty, Beck Mallinston, the bottom 4 of the defense of everyone not named, or I guess 3 not named, Connor Clifton, Rasmus Dahlin, and Bo Byram. Nobody's doing anything.
Nobody.
They're not doing. Jacob Bryson had a nice start to the season, but he's not an NHL defenseman. Matthias Samuelsson has almost completely lost the toughness to his game that we liked from him as a stay-at-home defenseman. I don't even know who the 6th defenseman was tonight, but Yoki Harju clearly has been horrible this season. And yeah, it's just really bad. It's really bad.
It's so bad.
I'd like to talk about the Benson play really quickly.
Yeah, real quick, because I was able finally to pull it up here. Right here we go. This is the play right here. Can you see that?
No, it's not on screen.
It's not pulling up. Hold on. How about now? Anything? Nothing. Oh, here it is. Hold on. Add to stage. There we go. There it is. That's the play. You have Dahlin trying to take away the backdoor pass. You have Samuelsson tying up his guy in front. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, can you just type in Duane, and I'd like to see the whole play develop potentially.
Okay, yeah, I can pull that up. Just give me 1 second here. Johnny Duane. Sorry, it's all in caps right now because, I was so angry when I was typing all this out. Hold on. Here we go. Can you see that?
Turnaround shot.
Scroll down.
Comes to McCarr. He'll shoot it wide of the net. Oh, man. You do. Turnaround shot blocked away. Comes to McCarr. He'll shoot it wide of the net. Oh, man.
Right here, Dahlin goes down to take away the backdoor pass here in just 1 moment. He's doing his job. It's fine. What the fuck is Alex doing? Who was that? Was that Mellon? Well, back it up 1 second here.
Winding down to the final 10 seconds. Here's McKinnon. In front.
I do think it's mostly on Mallinson because I guess Tuck has some responsibility to the point there. I guess it was 7 seconds, maybe not. I mean, McCarr scored 2 minutes before that from the point. But if Mallinson's the center in that spot, Duane's his guy. You're covering the guy in front. And if it's not, because the other defenseman, I mean, Dahlin, you got to take away the pass. You can't leave the guy wide open, right? It could be Tuck's guy or it could be Mallinson. Either one of the two, they're both in no man's land. You're either covering someone or you're not. And if you're not covering someone and you're just watching where the puck's going to go, someone's going to be open. And in that case, you leave a gifted goal scorer wide open in the slot to one time at top shelf. And I don't think that one's on UPL. But yeah, that's going to happen every single day of the week. Every single team in the NHL would have scored a goal on that play.
Got a point here from Gargalant. The 6-on-5 was on Seth Appert. When they called the timeout, Lindy pointed at Seth and said, "You take it." Appert looked like a deer in headlights, grabbed the whiteboard. He's so out of his league. I think a point that's like part of the mental weakness. Like at some point, yes, Lindy has to accept responsibility. This is his team. And what happened out there, that collapse wasn't for like a lack of skill, it was for a lack of composure. But at what point, how many times we got to keep beating that drum that his assistants should not be on a bench in the NHL? Like, as much as I like the Seth Appert in the beginning, what has he contributed to this team outside of a insanely inconsistent and bad power play and special team situations just like that? What has he contributed?
Not much. Power play is really bad. Almost worse than last year. Whatever system that they're running isn't really producing when it truly matters. My flag's falling down.
Collapsed. It collapsed.
Yeah, it's like the Jumbotron. I just put it up for this. Yeah, man, it's really bad. All right, quickly to Zach Benson, and then let's get out of here. We can talk about that all night.
Yep.
So the prevailing wisdom that I've seen online, and this is unrelated to whether it was goalie interference or not, because it absolutely wasn't goalie interference. I think there's a legitimate discussion to be had about whether the ref should have blown the play dead because the goalie was injured.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people seem to be most mad about.
Which
Obviously,
not the rule.
there are stupid Avs fans mad at Zach Benson, which is just insane. He even said after the game, like, you play to the whistle. He's an NHL player. It's not on him to go check on Scott Wedgwood, especially because he was pushed into him by the Avs player. But there is a discussion about, especially as goalies, I think we can speak to this, about Wedgwood like writhing in pain on the ice, had to leave the game. He probably hurt his ankle or his knee or something really badly there. In what is the judgment call by the ref? What is the time frame? What is the situation where he is supposed to blow that play dead if the play is still in motion from when it happened? Like, Zach Benson got the puck very quickly after that happened, came around and scored a goal. People are very upset that the ref didn't blow the play dead when he realized Wedgwood was hurt. I know it's not a rule, it's a judgment call. Like, what was he supposed to do there? The ref, not Benson.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody knows the rule book, and us as goalies too, man, like
You want to be protected.
The only time that they're allowed to blow the whistle in that situation is if our helmet is off, or 2, Colorado gains possession of the puck.
I guess that's my question, though. Like,
no, that's the rule.
Is that the rule?
Yeah, like if Buffalo, unless Buffalo runs the goalie intentionally, which clear as day, the refs would have blown that dead if that was the case. The Colorado player drove Benson into, essentially slew-footed him. Until Colorado gains the possession, they can't blow that whistle dead.
Yeah. I guess I just, if you could find that in the rule book, I want to like tweet that screenshot out to people because people are very upset. And
I get it. Like, I get it. I get it. I'm not trying to like.
No, but like if that's a legitimate.
Be a homer here, but that's the rule. Like,
no, if that is the rule though, that if the play is only blown down if Colorado gets possession or if his helmet or glove is off, it must be a glove too, right?
Pardon?
It must be a glove. Like if his glove was hit off, like that must be part of it.
I don't even know if they can call that dead.
Okay.
Because I've seen plays continue without the glove on.
Like it's interesting to me though, because like even like Johnny Lazarus and Shayna Goldman, like 2 well-respected members of the hockey media are.
I could be wrong, but if somebody in the chat can find that rule, I've always thought even in a situation where the goalie gets hurt, like it isn't until possession changes, to Colorado that it needs to be dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was under the impression that it was a judgment call, but in this specific situation, it happened so quickly that I don't know how the ref could have blown it dead before Benson put it in the net, personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can go either way on it. I would like to know like what the situation there is. And if it is a judgment call, the ref made a judgment. He saw Benson get pushed into Wedgwood by the Colorado player. He didn't do it intentionally. He didn't have time to realize that he was even hurt, and he played to the whistle and scored a goal. Like, in no way whatsoever was that Zach Benson's fault. And obviously he's being blamed for that because Zach Benson is the new Brad Marchand. He's blamed for everything.
Yeah.
He's blamed for everything.
He should just lick somebody in the face. Let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
He in the face.
A guy on USA Hockey, Cole Eiserman, he licked his stick today after I think he either missed a shot or it was some situation, but there's a really funny video of him licking his stick today.
Did you see the very funny video of Chechia singing Canada's goal song in the locker room after they beat him?
What's their goal song?
I don't know, but I couldn't understand. But like,
I just saw a lot of funny videos of Canadian hockey fans after that loss. And,
and then if you go to like Easton Cohen's like Instagram, somebody tweeted out, "Are you really even Canadian if you're not in Easton Cohen's Instagram comments right now after that loss?" And I went to the comment section and he's getting butchered. I guess he took a really stupid penalty at the end of the game or something like that.
Well, he did against the US in that game. He cross-checked a guy from behind and he basically caused the US to score a 3-1 goal to make that game out of reach.
I was told by a Toronto Maple Leafs fan that he's going to be so much better than Yuri Kulik. So
these are young kids. I don't blame the kids. I just find it funny that Canadian hockey fans are throwing jerseys on the ice after a bunch of 18-year-olds lost a game to a very good Czech Republic team. Like, that is no slouch of an organization now, and they have a lot of really high prospects and good players.
Yep.
And the only reason they were in that position in the first place is because they got outclassed by the USA team on Christmas Eve in their home country, which is objectively a better team, and I would even argue to say a better program at this point. There are top NHL prospects. They're better players. They're more disciplined. They have more skill. Everything about the USA Hockey National Development Program compared to Hockey Canada at the moment is outclassing them 100%. So at least we have that.
Yeah. I mean, the USA Hockey program has looked incredible. And
college hockey specifically, and one quick shout out because we haven't spoken on this since that happened. I played club hockey at Syracuse. I played in the great American Collegiate Hockey Association, the ACHA, which has 3 divisions, M1, M2, M3. M1, the top of M1 specifically, has been good for many years. I would say that it's on par with some lower level D3 teams, even lower level D1 teams. About a week ago, UNLV's hockey team went on the road to the defending NCAA Division I national championship, University of Denver, who was only missing Zeev Buium, who, granted, is incredible and was probably going to play for the Minnesota Wild later this season, and their head coach, David Carl. But they went on the road and beat the defending national champions, a club hockey team, 7-6 in a shootout. One of the crazier upsets, I would say, in the history of hockey, let alone college hockey, not even just college hockey. But just shout out to them. I know as club hockey players, you normally get shit on for saying that you're on a club hockey team. But these guys practice and play as hard and as well as any program in the country, especially UNLV. Now they put a lot of money into that program, and they've got a lot of really good resources. Yep. And that is a moment those kids will remember for the rest of their life. So, also that was against Denver's number 1 goalie in Matt Davis. He won them the national championship last season. He played that entire game. So it's not like they were playing their scrubs. Like, that was a legitimate roster that Denver put out there. So shout out to the UNLV ACHA hockey team.
Mauricio's missed you, buddy. He's been asking where you've been.
Hey, I was in Buffalo. I got my Labatt Blue flag and I brought it back. It's 49 degrees here. Like, I can't go in a pool.
But I know we didn't want to stay on too late because it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But we felt compelled to go live tonight because this is what we do. Just want to say thank you to everybody always that comes on here with us, and I'll thank you guys after every show. I did want to run this by you, Hurls. And again, this show had it been an earlier start time, and I've been able to be more animated. We probably could have gotten more into the weeds with this, but I was throwing on the idea in the last show. What do you think about doing like a follower of the year, whether it's the chat or online, picking somebody, giving them a prize, like especially with this chat.
How about that next shirt that you're gonna release? We'll
there we go. We could do that.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Over 1,000 live viewers.
Yeah, we'll do one. There's a lot of people that are in here consistently. We'll do that, and then we should do a giveaway with a retweet and a follow type thing. But we appreciate all you guys, all you sickos.
Yep, and I do want to point out too. I like to try and shout out everybody who's a new subscriber, listener. Again, it's really early in the morning, but I'll point out Shane Doyle here, another new guy, Jeff Sharan. If you want the empty net, go to center ice first, please. And clock wins games.
Real quick on the empty net.
Yeah, we do have to touch on that.
So I do think going for it at all costs is a good play. Sucking at face-offs is another thing entirely. If you can't win a face-off in a consequential situation, that's just emblematic of a bad hockey team. Going for the empty net, I know people talk about analytics, and I'm a proponent in many situations. It is the smart thing to do because your chances of scoring and ending the game compared to it being obviously missing and being an icing and then losing the faceoff you're going to take that chance. you really should take that chance every single time.
Every time.
It is a fair point. But the thing to be mad about is not missing the net on an empty net attempt, is not being able to win a faceoff in a consequential situation. This team hasn't been able to for years, probably since Paul Gostad and Ryan O'Reilly, and they need to find someone who can. Point blank, period.
Dude, Paul Gostad was traded at the deadline for a first-round pick, mainly because
he's good at
his penalty killing ability and his ability on his insanely high face-off percentage.
Like those are the guys you need on your team. Like if you can do one skill or two skills really well, those guys help you win games.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Durk here, who came to the live show at Fatty Beer.
His new profile.
Yeah, his avatar is awesome, buddy. I love it.
Go.
I love it. Let's go. I want to look Terry Pickle straight in his eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, flushing, low life snake.
Well, he doesn't say Terry. He says him.
Well, I'm assuming he means.
I mean, he could
about Terry.
He could mean he could mean Beck Mallinston.
He could. Another new actually, no, he's been here before. Crippling how they did this twice, the same team.
I will say this: if it were to happen against any team, it's probably going to happen to a team with two of the most skilled hockey players in the world.
Oh yeah,
but that also stresses the importance of being responsible in your own zone and actually playing defense.
I guess Zach Benson dropped an F-bomb in front of Paul Hamilton.
Oh, no.
On the post game, Paul Hamilton just blocked Benson in real life for swearing.
I want a reverse angle of the mustache on Paul Hamilton's face, like lifting off of his mouth in real time, like.
Oh man, that must have been funny. I just had a screenshot.
Like, Paul Hamilton's a former hockey player. How is he so upset about swear words?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, did he like hear it too much in the locker room and just be traumatized for the rest of his life?
I don't know.
Is he like
raised in a strict household where swearing wasn't allowed, and the first time you ever heard it was when he came? I don't know.
Is he like a deeply religious man? Like, I don't understand.
I have no clue. No idea. I know I'm blocked for saying hell, and I can go back.
Victor Olofsson was +5 tonight.
No, he has +5 on the season.
Oh,
equals 5 assists +5, and he's averaging 17 minutes a night. I do know 5 of those 8 goals are on the power play. I wonder who could use that help right now.
I mean, that's what he does well.
It's just about, and here's the thing, dude. It goes back to the lack of player development in this organization. How you cut your scouting staff in half. How you bring in the good old boys club to be your assistant coaches, your development coaches. You let Dan Girardi fucking coach from his couch for half of his time here. That goes back to that stuff. It just does, man. And just goes back to just a lack of caring about really, truly knowing how to build a winner the way, I hate saying it, but the way Chicago did, the way Florida has, the way, Vegas has, the way that, LA did back in the day. Like all these teams that knew how to develop and knew how to build it from within and then add those pieces, kind of like we did with Zucker, after you have your core established and they're consistent and they've been developed properly. We've said on the show multiple times, what were Dylan Cousins and Jack Quinn and these other guys doing in the offseason? Like, I don't know. Like, that's a question that needs to be asked. Like, what were you guys doing? Were you guys working? Were you guys too busy having fun? I
don't think Dylan Cousins wasn't training in the offseason.
What was he doing then? Because he looks
I really don't believe that's what's wrong with this game. I think he's just completely lost confidence. I really do. Like, you can attribute it to the losing culture. You can attribute it to having the yips. I think he's not necessarily slower, but I think it's just the way he's been told to play the game. He's not hitting as much as he used to. He's not getting to the tough areas. He's not the workhorse on the ice that we once knew him to be. And I do attribute that to a lack of confidence when it comes to goal scoring and offensive creation and everything related to the aspects of his physical game. I don't think it's because he partied too much and didn't lift weights in the offseason. I really don't. That can't be it. And Jack Quinn, I really do think he's looked a lot better recently.
He has.
Yeah.
He has, but you need more from him. You need more
from
they just
those
don't.
two, obviously, you need more from both of them, but they're not the only two reasons this team is where it is.
But you were leaning heavily on them when you let go of guys like Jeff Skinner and I guess you could say to an extent.
People talked about replacing Jeff Skinner with Jason Zucker. At least you did that.
Yeah, no, you did. You did.
And honestly, in a much better way. Like, he's a complete player.
and listen, I'm not upset that we don't have Jeff Skinner. I'm just upset that you buy out a guy and you just don't use the money. I think that's what most people are upset about. We talked about that multiple times on this show. Hot take: Rob Ray could put together a better team than Adams.
I mean, hot take. I think all of us could.
Yeah. Like we talked about in the chat, Jonathan Taeus wants to continue his NHL career. Would you take Jonathan Taeus if he can still play on this hockey team?
I mean, I think his leadership, if anything, would be good.
Just for that, just to get him in that locker room, man.
I mean, the only guy we brought in with any type of pedigree in leadership in Jason Zucker has been the best player for the past 2 months.
Yeah, and that's the pathetic thing is it shouldn't be that guy. He's not wearing a letter. These guys that do wear letters essentially earn them somehow. I don't know how Tage Thompson earned a letter. I don't know how Matthias Samson earned a letter. I don't know how Dylan Cousins earned a letter. But if I were to take over this team as head coach tomorrow or GM, my first order of business, and I'm ripping the letters off players like that, and I'm giving it to a guy like I want to talk about Connor Clifton. I have loved Connor Clifton all season. How he went in there and immediately, I forget who was that tried to go after Benson, but King Clifton just
or Gerard maybe
bulldozed him.
Like, yeah, that was amazing. It really was. He saved his life. To be honest,
literally, yeah. And like I've loved his game all season. How often have we complained about Connor Clifton? He has filled the role they've asked him to fill very well, and I would extend him tomorrow, and I'd put a fucking letter on his jersey, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's largely been fine. I don't think he's been perfect defensively either. You can't be perfect defensively.
Not on this team.
No, with the role that, like you said, he's been asked to fill, he's been pretty good.
Half the time he's playing with either Henry Yogi Haru or Jacob Bryson or
it sucks to say, but like they need Greenway back. They really do. Like he's the type of guy that would have helped win them this game. He's a penalty killer. He's got a little bit of toughness. I think he's responsible in his own zone, especially from a forward perspective, where a lot of these guys seem like they have.
Sorry, I didn't hear the name you said.
Jordan Greenway.
Greenway, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, my God. They missed Greenway a ton.
Like, he's a guy that would have helped them win this game.
Yeah.
And you need more guys like that. Like, Lafferty's effectively doing nothing. We've talked about Mallinston. I don't know, man. I know I'm as optimistic as they come, but we're going to be sitting on January 3rd tomorrow, and I think they would need to play at basically like 110-point pace for the rest of the season to make the playoffs. So it's over. I think we all knew it was over once the 13-game winless streak happened, and that sucks. It's going to be 14 years. I was with a bunch of Jets fans at the game on Sunday, and we were debating which franchise is in a worse spot right now. And debatably, it might be the Jets, but
they have a ton of they're going to have a high draft pick. They're going to have probably some of them like they have a ton of.
But if you don't have a quarterback, then you're lost.
Yeah,
you're absolutely lost.
That's true.
And it's gonna, especially this year, they're not going to find a new one. The draft
is going to be Aaron Rodgers again.
And then they're screwed because clearly he doesn't have it anymore.
And he also runs the team secretly. So
yeah, well, I think he did for a little bit, and Woody Johnson's trying to push back. But either way, it's going to be 14 years. I think we all know that. And now it's on us to continue to watch these games. I was talking to somebody about the other night. This is the last thing I'll say, then I'm going to bed. I was talking to somebody about the other night, and they asked me how I do this. And for me, I do it because I legitimately love the sport of hockey. I've loved it my entire life. I still play it twice a week. I will watch a random NHL game. I'll see if games are on after this. I'll put on ESPN Plus, and I was watching the World Juniors all day. I'll watch any hockey game. And if it's a hockey game of the team that I've loved since I was cognizant at 4 to 5 years old, and they're playing even a slightly meaningful hockey game, I'm going to watch it because at the end of the day, they are NHL players, right? Like they're below average NHL players for the most part, and the team is a very below average NHL team. But it is still entertaining to not only watch them and talk about it afterwards, but to watch guys like Kel McCarr and Nathan McKinnon and Devon Taves and all these other incredible players do their thing on a nightly basis. Like watching the goal, I guess that made it 3-1 that Kel McCarr scored. He is an unbelievable hockey player. And the ability to sit down each night and watch these games, I think that's why a lot of us do this, because we love the sport. And it just sucks that the organization has put us in this spot where they're taking a lot of people's not only love for the sport, which for some people like us will never go away, but love for the organization away.
Yep.
And that's really tough. But for us sickos and also us just general fans of the sport of hockey, we'll still be here. I'll still be here as much as I possibly can.
Yep.
When I'm not golfing on the weekends. And we'll do our best to get through this together, and we appreciate you guys.
On his way to another gold medal too, potentially. Well, I'm not sure if he got one last year, but Cole Hudson.
That guy's good.
Fun. You want a fun fact about him? Taken 43rd by Washington in last year's draft.
Ugh.
Guess who had the 42nd pick?
Who'd we take?
Adam Kleber. He's a 6-foot defenseman.
I will say Kleber's looked pretty good for the USA this year.
He hasn't looked bad, but he's not Cole Hudson.
No, he's not. But I think, to be fair, if we had picked Cole Hudson in that spot, a smaller, just puck-moving defenseman, which we do a left-handed shot that we technically have a lot of in this organization right now, I think a lot of people would have had a gripe about that.
Washington probably ran to the podium.
Yeah. Wait, is Kleber right-handed?
Yeah, he's 6'3" right-handed.
So,
I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, so talented.
He also has the pedigree of Lane Hudson as well. So
yes.
That is tough, but it's hard to second guess those things. Like I had a friend say earlier that he wishes we would have had Makar instead of Dahlin. Like Makar got drafted 4th overall in 2017. We didn't have the opportunity to take it. We had the 8th pick and took Middlestat.
Yeah.
Like Dahlin was a surefire generational number 1 overall pick in 2018. And in my opinion, yes, he's not as good as Kel McCarr, but he's also not that far off.
No, he's not. And he's also not on his – Kel McCarr's not on his 4th or 5th head coach in his career.
If Dahlin was on the Avalanche, can you imagine?
He'd be disgusting.
He already is disgusting.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
He would be Kel McCarr.
Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, again, we're already looking at draft guides. It's not even just barely.
I'll say this: James Higgins.
Oh, dude. So I was at Fatty. We were watching Latvia beat Canada, and I'll shout him out. Our buddy Greg Day Jr., his brother Anthony, NCAA national champion with the Yale Bulldogs. He does a lot of private training, for up and coming, junior college hockey players. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember those videos that Henrik Lundqvist put out when he was training to come back? Like those videos he put out of him getting shot on in a Capitals practice, right after he signed with the Capitals.
Yeah,
it was Anthony shooting on him. So, he's very well in the weeds when it comes to development and hockey, and he's, his life will be dedicated to hockey till, he's however old when he decides to stop. Regardless, Anthony flat out told me that Higgins is going to be better than Bedard, and Higgins looks pretty nasty, and that's a lot. And I'll bow to a lot of people when it comes to hockey, when it comes to talking about hockey. And I know he's a little biased because he's a U.S. kid, but he flat out says he thinks Higgins is going to be better than Bedard.
I just got a text from a 716 number who I'm not sure who it is. Shout out to whoever texted me this. He sent me the 2023-2024 NHL rulebook. Is this in our chat? Is this in our chat as well? It must be from that. But real quick, I want to read because this is something that we had asked about earlier. When a player is injured so that he cannot continue play or go to his bench, the play shall not be stopped until the injured player's team has secured control of the puck. If the player's team is in control of the puck at the time of the injury, play shall be stopped immediately unless his team is in a scoring position. It doesn't
Specify goalie.
Yeah, it doesn't delineate from player to goalie. In the case where it is obvious that a player has sustained a serious injury, the referee and or lines person may stop the play immediately.
It's pretty much left up to them too. It's not saying they have to. It's essentially at their discretion.
Are they making the difference between injury and serious injury? In which case, that's a judgment call.
I mean, yeah, he had to be helped off the ice, but are you going to sit there and tell me that his life was in danger with, you know what I mean? Like what's the difference between injured and serious injury?
That's what I'm saying. Those two paragraphs.
I think it's at referee's discretion.
So at his discretion, like, I don't know. It's hard to know for sure what the best thing to do in that situation is, especially from a ref's perspective, because Colorado didn't have the puck. And if he's reading the rule book like we read in that first paragraph, it's not on him to stop the play unless Colorado had the puck. But if it's a serious enough injury, how about this? I don't want to, this is the last, I said it earlier, but this changes the course of that, given we just got the rule book. God forbid, let's say Zach Benson's skate Malarchuk's Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah, you blow that done.
If it's
over. Like,
so it's really a judgment thing. Then.
Yes.
Okay. So don't get mad at Zach Benson. That's on the ref.
Yeah, and again, it's at the referee's discretion. If he didn't think that Wedgwood was seriously hurt, I know he's on the ground, and again, it happened so fast. Like, 2 seconds after he went down, Zach Benson was wrapping that puck around. Like,
yeah,
I get it.
I mean, it's not.
I get the anger. I understand the anger, but I also understand that the referee's discretion. Like, if he decided not to blow the whistle because.
I honestly believe if the roles were reversed and that happened UPL, like after all of the goalie interference rulings we've been a part of this season, like we would be saying the same thing. I really believe.
Yeah.
That. Especially if the Colorado player was pushed into him by, let's say, Samuelson, who would likely do something like that. And he's done that this season.
I agree. Before we get out of here, guys, again, I just want to shout out to all the new, we had so many comments. I'm so grateful for this community we've built because it's 1:00 in the morning and we have, I don't know how many people still in the chat. It's crazy. But I just want to thank you all for always being here after games, win or lose, win or loss. Like, we built a little community here. And like I said, we're going to do something like a follower of the year or something like that. You guys deserve it for sure. We'll give something away. And honestly, just, if you've liked the content you've seen, you're not already subscribed and you want to subscribe, you can find us on YouTube. If you find us on YouTube, you watch on YouTube, subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when we go live. And of course, please leave a like on this video. It helps us a lot with the algorithm. More views. We're trying to monetize this thing, so any help you guys can offer would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you watch on Twitter, please make sure you follow myself there at Duane S39, at CHurls13, at 2goalies1mike, spelled exactly that way. And we're on Facebook and Instagram as well. So, or if you're an audio only guy, please Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave a like, leave a good rating. Appreciate all of you guys so much. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. It's the honest truth.
I mean, it's the silver lining for nights like this. It is.
Yes. If it wasn't for you guys, and this is the fucking truth, if it wasn't for all of you guys in the chat, we wouldn't go live after stuff like this. We wouldn't, because we know you guys want to talk about it just as much as we do.
And whoever, I'm going to respond. Whoever sent me the rule book just now, I appreciate that. Like that.
I believe that was Mike Flatley, friend of the program. He did send it to me. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, it was Mike Flatley. He sent it in our chat. Actually, no, it wasn't him. I don't know who sent that to you then.
Yeah,
what was the first three numbers of the phone number?
341.
341. Yeah, it's Mike.
Shout out Mike.
He wants to get on us real bad. Also a goalie. Played juniors. Good friend. Without maybe inside, guys, thank you so much for hopping on with us. We're closing in on an hour here. Definitely didn't plan on being on this long, but, it happens. I'm going to get to bed. But remember, this is brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at all their locations. And, of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel. Make sure to check out their new blue collar brand. Hoodies are incredible. They have shirts, hats, the whole 9 yards. Go check them out. And keep an eye out for hopefully our newest piece of merch that's going to be dropping soon. Maybe we'll incorporate that in a giveaway. I am Duane for Connor Hurley. This has been another rendition, a sad rendition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. We will talk to you later. And as always, go Sabres.